One may think that if you have a disability, you're limited to a van or a lift, and really, it's I learned a lot from other people about how to make things work for me, and I prefer a truck with four-wheel. I was involved in a ski accident in Aspen Highlands back in 1988, and I wasn't doing anything exciting, just trying to get from point A to point B, and did a backflip off of a cat track, and I ended up being paralyzed from the waist down. And I consider myself very lucky. My brother Brian brought me a book on disabled skiing called Bold Tracks by Hal O'Leary. And I really wasn't sure whether that's what I wanted to get into or not at that point. But it wasn't until I saw other people with disabilities who just flew down the mountain and cut a perfect track of snow that I knew that there was a future, that there was something that I could do. I started off as a recreational skier, and I can tell you it's not an easy process to go through. There's a lot of falls. You have to really check your ego, because in my head I could still ski, but in my body and physically I couldn't do it yet. And I wanted it to happen quicker than it did. When I saw other people who were phenomenal mono skiers, that I didn't see the fact that they had a disability. I saw the fact that they just laid down a perfect arc at over 60 miles an hour. I saw that they got on the lift independently. And it is a bit of a transition that you kind of have to take your knocks and really appreciate the people that are helping you to the next level. When you first start mono skiing, it is so scary to ride the chairlift. It's just something that you don't feel like you'll ever get used to. And you know, you'll have your good days, and I don't think I've ever had a season where I haven't misloaded. Skiing has always been a part of my life. It's something that I've always done with my family since the time I was 4 years old. And I'm proud to say that I haven't missed a ski season since I was 4. I was fortunate enough to see world-class skiers as a beginner, and I knew right away that I wanted to compete as a World Cup athlete. But it was going to take some time, and it's at that point that you know that this is a starting point, that everything is a starting point, and sometimes we do need to be inspired by other people. I don't keep a lot of medals around, but the Paralympic medals and my World Cup globe they're fun. And this year was the first year that they ever did a Winter X Games for athletes with disabilities. There was no women's category, so I had to be in with the men, which was a lot of fun. Your first Paralympic Games and your first big competitions, they're nerve-wracking, and they're a moment to be proud of. I was so excited to have a chance to represent our country. And that was something that I wanted to do as an able-bodied skier, but maybe I didn't have that chance. So I felt like I was given a second chance at an Olympic story that became a reality. I think when I first started competing, it was a great place not only to start competing, but also to learn a lot from other athletes. I didn't know that I could jump on an escalator. I didn't know that you could go downstairs in a wheelchair backwards. They did so much by themselves. So I like having a truck because our lifestyle has become very equipment intensive. There's mono skis and sled hockey and ice skating and cross-country skiing. So many things that it's nice to just be able to put it in the back of the truck and go. I use a standard vehicle with hand controls, and the device is very simple. It just bolts onto the pedal and goes down to the gas. But it enables me to drive without my feet, so everything is hand operated. So I push down for the gas, and then I would push forward for the brake. I would have never imagined that I would have the opportunity to do all the things that I've done simply because I had one bad day on the slopes and ended up with a permanent disability. You know, I tell a lot of kids that the biggest thing that you're going to do, and the biggest thing for parents, is breaking away from each other. And it's okay to fall out of your chair or fall on your crutches or do any of that, because they make great Band-Aids these days. It'll heal, but you'll learn something by those mistakes and those falls. So it really is, it's the getting back up and muddling through your day that makes it all worthwhile. At least you have a good story to tell.